If you have been working hard and the promise of a promotion has been dangling in front of you like a cat toy, but you're not sure whether it's politics or a lack of budget as to why it's not happening, it might be something else. So today we're going to talk about the real reason why you might not be getting promoted. Some of the items within your control, some not. Those within your control, we'll talk about the shifts you can make. Hi, I'm Kristen. I'm an executive career coach with a background in law, politics, and tech, and I help mid to senior level corporate women rise through the ranks, get promoted, and transition into work they love. And sometimes that involves some real talk about why it's not happening as soon as they think. So the first reason that you might not be getting promoted is a lack of emotional intelligence. So I made a whole video about this, but one of the things that is true in corporate America that promotions 95% of the time involve people management. So if you're going to put yourself in a position where you are holding space for others, where conflict resolution is a necessary skill, where you're mediating, where you're negotiating, and you have not been exhibiting those skills to decision makers, that might be a piece of why you're not moving up. The reality is, if you have exhibited behaviors such as defensiveness or anger, curtness, or exclusivity, those are not markers of someone who is going to rally a team behind him or her and get them to the top of the hill. Now, real talk, and this might be a bitter message to hear, but there is some subconscious bias and some lack of awareness that I've seen in the past. So if you are a woman and you're in a male-dominated industry, and I have been there, believe me, like law, engineering, sales, what have you, you have had to assert yourself to be heard, to close the deal, and in order to really be taken seriously in corporate America. But those same skills, that masculine energy that you exhibited, could bite you if it comes to a promotion. A lot of times decision makers think that women should behave in a certain way, and that is in a feminine way. And if you are not behaving in that way, they might not see you as a leader. They won't know that, they won't be able to articulate it most of the time, but it is one of those biases that can take you down from behind. So yes, I know that's not fair, and hence why I said it's a bitter pill to swallow. So having direct conversations with decision makers as to why you're not getting promoted, if you suspect this is something that's happening, and listening to what they say and being able to ask really open-ended questions such as, what made you say that? Can you give me some very specific examples of behavior that you are discussing right now? And the reason I say that is because a lot of the studies show that men will receive specific feedback, but women will receive general feedback. So actually holding someone's feet to the fire might give them the opportunity to rethink what they are saying. The reality of the situation is that people management is a whole additional set of skills that you need to bring. As mentioned, I'll link the video that discusses that below. So if that's something that you need to keep your eye on, you can be able to do so. Okay, reason number 2, a lack of what we call know, like, and trust. So what does that even mean? Well, if you are in marketing, I know you already know what it means because we buy from those we know, like, and trust. But as a veteran hiring manager, I can also tell you that we promote those we know, like, and trust. So if decision makers have not seen the true you, if they don't understand not just your skill set, but your values and your why behind your values, why you're making the decisions that you do, they might not be comfortable taking a chance on you. This is a fairly easy one to solve out of our list. The truth is that vulnerability doesn't mean you have to show up naked and share every trauma that's happened to you in your life. It means sharing a little bit about why you left your last job, or maybe a professional regret you have that you wish you could do over. It's small things like that that will engage the decision makers and really establish you as a leader. Leadership sometimes takes vulnerability, and I know if you've been burnt before sharing personal information at work that can be hard. It's definitely happened to me. But making these small and concerted efforts to just show a little bit more about yourself, again, your values and the why behind your values, it can go a long way. Number 3, you are in a box. So I spoke a little bit about the bias that happens towards women, and that is, spoiler alert, going to be one of them at the end that we discuss a little bit more in depth. But I want to talk about it here as well, because this typically happens to women, and it typically happens to women that are mid to later in life within corporate America. One of the things that has happened with a number of my clients is they have become so indispensable in their current role that decision makers could not possibly promote them. And what they are seeing is that you are doing 2, maybe even sometimes 3 people's jobs, and they would have to rehire someone or a few someones in order to make up for what you're doing in another role. Now, unfortunately, I have seen this in multiple companies with multiple clients. Even someone who's at a managerial level, they'll move to other lateral positions, but their reputation has already been really ingrained in the company, and it's really hard for them to move away from it, so they're not able to move up. If this is the case, my recommendation is that you go out and come in again. If this is a company you love and you want to be a part of, and they're not seeing you for your potential and what you can really give, there's going to be someone else who does. So it might be worth getting your resume together and start interviewing for another position. You might need to take that position, or it might just be them seeing that somebody else wants you, much like dating, that they step up and they really make the offer to promote you and pay you what you're worth. Number 4. Told you this was coming, but subconscious bias. So I have literally given 2-day classes on the different types of subconscious bias that are out there, and it can permeate every piece of our life. But one of the things I want to talk about here that is short and sweet is that women are seen for their results and men are often seen for their potential. That's just not an opinion. That is data and a number of different studies that have shown that. So we call this prove it again bias, where women have to show what they can do again and again and again. And oftentimes that's still not enough to be promoted, where men are instead looked at for their potential. So there's a lot more leeway in what they think men can accomplish. If you think decision makers have this bias is unfortunately not illegal, but what I would do in that situation, one, if you have the ability to, like in the other example I provided, interview and find another role, that might move the needle somewhat. But sometimes a culture is just too far gone and you might want to think about getting out for good. If you can't, it is the end of Q4 in 2024, and I know the economy is not great. So if that is the situation, start documenting everything, because there may come a time when you need to go to HR and you will need to have the receipts. And finally, number 5, nepotism. Now, while it is normal when a new leader comes into an organization for him or her to bring over some of their own people, it's not normal for them to bring on all of their people. That means they are either unwilling or unable to create and support a team. Some attrition is normal, but a lot of people leaving, that's the canary in the coal mine, and you might want to get your resume shorn up yourself if that's something you're experiencing. Now, again, I know it's not a great economy, so same thing goes here. If that's not possible, just start documenting everything, because you might need to go to HR at some time in the future. As always, if you have any questions about what I've shared today, just put them in the comments. I love to be of help and I love reading your comments. I come out with new videos each week, and if you liked this video, please like, share, and subscribe. You doing that allows more people to see the video. It allows me to expand my reach, and hopefully we can help somebody else get promoted as well. Until next week, I'll see you.